Hi, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share, give a thumbs up if you found this video helpful, and pass it along if you believe someone else would be helped by it. I would appreciate it. You know, I don't watch a lot of television. I don't watch a lot of news. Almost none. No news, no television, other than, well, I shouldn't say I don't watch TV. I'm selected. I watch YouTube, and I watch a lot of documentaries. I watch a lot of constructive program, building, construction, machinery, how to, you name it. Anything that deals with building and constructing things, it holds my attention. I don't watch dramas. I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch suspense. Although occasionally my television will be on a program moving through one place to another on YouTube. And ironic, today it was on Exodus, Kings, Gods and Kings. And this is the story essentially when Moses was trying to convince Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of slavery. He had them in captivity, was working them to the bone, and God allowed plagues to come over Egypt, and they had so many plagues. There were so many things that God allowed to be sent Pharaoh's way, and he was relentless. He just did not want to get it. And it reminded me of the narcissist. The narcissists have that same type of mentality. They're egocentric. They don't depend, rely, or believe in God. They serve the God of themselves. They believe their malicious sword in which they wield about onto people who are innocent will carry them over. And even when a narcissist is met with the most dire situations, it is not enough to turn them from their evil ways. They are hell-bent on staying the same rather than change. And the mercies that I believe God extends to people who have a little bit of remorse, a little bit of regret, a little bit of humility, a little bit of sorrow and submission and humbleness, I believe God rewards and he honors that. But a narcissist will portray themselves like they are victims. I was looking at some stories in the news, and like I said, don't watch the news as we know news. But on television and YouTube, there are different news outlets and people who are following stories. And most often the stories that I follow are the gruesome stories of how what one person does to another, one human being does to another, anywhere from children being abducted and killed, adults killing each other, love triangles, all different types of things like that, just horrible stuff. And I don't watch it for reasons to because there is any glamour in it. I watch it in regards to how parallel it is to our world that we live in. Because a lot of people who watch this type of stuff in the cinemas, they don't tend to gravitate to it in real life. But people like you and me, empaths, chosen ones, who see the good in the world we want to see, because it's people like us. We want to be the good we want to see in the world, is what I'm saying. And so we tend to pay attention to real life gruesome stories. We're not turned on, or we're not amused by dramatizations. We're not amused by sitcoms as time passes. Awakening paths, those are things that do not interest us. We do not have time to sit in front of a television and watch someone portray foolishness, because we've seen this played out in real life. And if you are an empath, awakened, and you're still stuck in a rut of watching these same old programs because you've conditioned yourself to, what's the harm? It's not a big deal. I would encourage you to trade that time that you're investing in that and devote it into these channels in which we are enlightening, encouraging you, and educating you on how to raise your vibration. And the reason why I'm encouraging and I'm stressing this is because those things are not going to pay any dividends to you in your life going forward. They're trivial. If you're awakened out of this abuse from narcissists, what you need to find yourself doing every little moment you get, and I know this may not be appealing to you, nor should it be, is this education and awareness of narcissism. It is vital to your survival, your livelihood, your health, your mental state of mind, and your spiritual well-being. Because you didn't come out of this by chance. And if you stay dormant and you become laxed, these things will creep back up upon you. It's almost like the scripture in the Bible that says a man who cleans his house and rid himself of all these evil spirits goes about and ends up, the latter will be worse than the former. These spirits will multiply. And I believe, if I can use that scripture in the context of what I'm trying to say here, if you begin to stay laxed and you don't sharpen your sword of awareness and enlightenment and the education of these people live around the corner from you. They live across the street from you. You run into them on a day-to-day basis, but your awareness needs to be keen. And the why it needs to be keen is because you need to know who's in your presence, who's around you, who's within your circles. And then you can make determinations on how you can move and how you should move around and how you should move away and distance yourself. Because these type of people, they will recruit others that you don't know personally to engage with you. They'll use third parties to befriend you. And before you know it, you've formed a new friendship with someone. And unbeknownst to you, they are intel. They are people who are in cahoots with people who you've known in the past that were toxic, and not just toxic. Because I told you, when you say toxic, most often, depending on the toxicity, that could be nothing more or less than a narcissist. Because generally speaking, people who have a fairly healthy sense of self or mindset, they don't have to be perfect, because no one is. They don't tend to be toxic. But if you have people that are toxic, they can't stay out of their own way, this is nothing more than narcissist. I read a story to which I was trying to express before I got sidetracked. A couple of developments. Woman shoots through door and kills mother of 4. She just got sentenced. The judge sentenced her to 25 years. The maximum was 30. And this woman, if you go and you look and listen to her closing statement of, when they're trying to ask for, the inmate is trying to ask for them to be lenient on them and give them less time. She goes on this spiel of all these ailments she has, all these surgeries she's had, all of this, poor me, poor me, poor me. But she's walking able-bodied, no limping, no nothing. It does not jive with what she's saying she has. But in essence, the bigger point is, it's no remorse. She was speaking about her. And it's important we identify these people when we see this on television, when we see these news developments. Narcissists are running rampant in our world. And even when they're found out, and God is exposing them right and left, you will find no remorse. You will find nothing but ego and self-justification. And there was another story of a woman, Wisconsin or Missouri or somewhere. She essentially had held her son captive in his room for 20 years. For 20 years. The guy was 31 years old and he only weighed 69 pounds. In the way that they discovered she had held him captive, he had stolen a lighter from his father, who was deceased at the point of when this fire started. He had stolen a cigarette lighter from his father a year prior. And he had began to listen to a radio station and a few different things in order to keep up with what year it was. And so he was able to learn that I think it was rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer was flammable. And so he used a lighter, copying paper, and set the house on fire. And the fire department were called. And you can hear this woman, the mother, who they are charging with this maltreatment of this son for 20 years. You can hear her on the 911 call. She doesn't seem like she's moved by this situation. And he set that fire because he needed the fire department to come, because he thought this out, that he needed to be saved. And so he had smoke inhalation, but he survived, and he told a gruesome story of how she would not let him out. And at 11 years old, and people say he's 31, he could have escaped, she conditioned him to fear her. And narcissists fear with, they rule with fear. Just like Pharaoh. They're powerless, but they can condition you to believe something that's not true. If you leave, this or that will happen to you. Threats. And so when they finally came and they rescued this boy, she was holding a dog. And she said, no emotions, no tears, no nothing. And here she is in court. She posted $300,000 bail. And it makes me wonder, it's ironic, convenient she had money to bail.